Coming up on this episode of the Spiro Podcast.
When you onboard your team and you go through the training, you're eventually going to get to a point that they're probably doing what you've asked them to do better than you. And what you need to do is you need to ask them and say, hey, how do you think we could do this process better? How do you think we could get more clients? What do you think our largest gaps are? Where do you see that we have the most fallout with clients, the least amount of availability, the most unhappy photographers? The list goes on and on. And when you start asking those questions, I think you'll be so surprised with the answers that you get back.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magrum.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate media business. Spiro is a software platform designed to help you run your day-to-day real estate media business, but ultimately help you scale it up and grow as well. Welcome to another episode. If you're a returning listener or viewer, if this is your first time, welcome. The podcast is all about all things business in real estate media. Lots of great resources out there on the creative side of things, but we want to help you build a strong business. I'm Craig Magrum, and along with me each and every week, Spiro founder and owner, co-host of the podcast, Todd Kivimaki. Welcome back, Todd.
Craig, it's great to be back. We are officially on the Northern Hemisphere. This is a busy season. So this
no
is
joke.
So yeah, thank you all for jumping on. We'll get you some value today, get you some nuggets in here. So I know you're busy. So thank you for tuning in with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, this week's topic generated by you, the viewers. We had a comment come in on the YouTube channel asking us to cover all things virtual assistants. So we will be talking VAs on this episode. But before we do, we always like to give you a quick update on what's going on with Spiro, the software. So Todd, it's all you.
Yeah, you should have a couple of nice finesses and updates inside of your system. First thing is a little more clarity around the metrics page. So inside of Spiro, you can schedule what we call additional appointments on a main appointment. These could be things like, hey, I'm going back because I forgot something. I'm going back because they ordered something a month later, the twilight shoot, so on and so forth. And we realize you all want to look at those a little bit different. So if you go to a property twice, is that considered two shoots or is that one shoot? That affects your average order value. So if you don't want that, well, you have a toggle now, to decide if you want the metrics and your average order value to include these additional appointments or exclude them. Also, another cool thing is on the metrics page, it shows you the number of additional appointments. So this is very helpful if you see that you are having a lot of additional appointments and you don't expect to have a lot of additional appointments, then there might be some gaps in your business somewhere that you might need to close up with the way that you're going through and processing houses. Also, you have a new option inside the system to decide where new images get imported. So the workflow here is that you all have images in the gallery and then you rearrange them, and then you might import or add a new photo, Twilight, for example. Previously, we would redo that sort order based on the sequential name. And we know that you don't want that. We know you want us to keep your sort order. And then you want us to add that new image or images at a specific location. You can select where you would like that to go. Do you want new images to go to the beginning, to the end, or do you want them sequential again? But we will preserve your rearranged images to save you that time of having to rearrange. Or if your clients rearrange, we will save that as well.
Awesome. Some great user input inspired updates to the system. So Todd, thank you.
Yeah, a little more clarity, save you a little bit of time. That's our goal, knowing how busy you all are right now.
So I see a lot of times in the Spiro Super User Facebook group, people make suggestions, which is great. But is there a different, more efficient way to make suggestions for updates for the software?
Yes, Craig. So when you're logged into the admin panel on Spiro, there is a little feedback bubble up there. Just hover on that, and then there's a link to go to our feature-based board. If you put it on there, you can suggest it. You can also search and see what others have suggested, and you can upvote on that feature as well. And then the more upvotes we get, the more precedence it has in our development schedule.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I say we just dive right in and get to the meat and potatoes of the podcast here.
Yeah, I agree, because I think if you're not utilizing a VA or a team of VAs, I think that this could be a huge um, time saver for you and your business.
Yeah, so I remember back when I had my own business doing this, I I handled everything, Todd. I was doing the scheduling in between shoots, and I was keeping track of my other photographer, and I was doing my invoicing on Saturday mornings, which really, really stunk
Mhm.
because I didn't have time during the week. And I really didn't. I'm going to admit, back then, I really didn't know about virtual assistants. I, I didn't even know what to ask. I didn't know where to look. And as I mentioned, somebody on our YouTube channel asked, "Hey, can you cover VAs?" And I didn't get any specific like focus of VAs, but I would say let's start right at the base of okay, what is a virtual assistant and how the heck do you find one?
A virtual assistant is someone working for you, for your business, that is not in your location. Typically, these individuals are in the Philippines or in India, Kosovo. We've got a team over there, anywhere in the world. So they are someone who doesn't come in every day. And Craig, this is becoming more common. Is like I think of the term of virtual assistant, and I just think there could be a better term, because I think these people are so integral to our business, and virtual seems a little just not so, I don't know, friendly or loving. And I
Right.
think, yeah, it's like I almost think of like a machine if it's virtual.
Yeah, not personal.
Not personal, correct. These
Yeah.
are real people. These are people that on our team, we've had them for a lot of years. We love them. We could not do business without them. And I think as you grow, it's something that if you don't have a virtual assistant, you really need to think about getting.
So if somebody's starting to think, hey, I do need some help in my business and I don't have the wherewithal to bring somebody into my location, maybe I can't. I mean, there's all sorts of things to consider.
Yeah.
Where do you even start to look for a virtual assistant? Is there a marketplace? Do you have to get referrals from other businesses that might know about them? But where do you look?
Yeah, great question. So you can find them in many spaces, and I'm not giving you an all exclusive list of where you can find them. And you all, if you have suggestions of a location that works for you, can you please share it in the comments below, and let our listeners know if you found a great spot. We have had success with a few different places. Number one, I think the first site I ever used to look for help was Upworks. And
Okay.
going to Upworks, you can find individuals there. I will tell you that because of the way that Upworks charges and upsells or makes money, um, I don't know that it's the best spot to find a virtual assistant. But that's an online platform where you can post a job for literally anything. We have also had success with onlinejobs.ph. That is a local site in the Philippines where you can post jobs and get local people in the Philippines. It's a board that are, it's kind of like our Indeed, if you will, in the US.
Got it. Okay.
I will tell you that it's once you get your first or second, or once you have a team of virtual assistants, it becomes much easier to get and find better talent and great talent.
How so?
That's because the team, they know the local market. They're posting literally help wanted on boards and in coffee shops in the Philippines. They have a network of friends. I can't tell you how many individuals we either employ a sister, a mother, a brother, and families of a mother, yeah, a mother daughter we have. So once you start to find people, your virtual assistants will naturally just reach out to their network. And if you think about that, Craig, that's very natural. Like, how many times did you hear someone, like, hey, if you know anything out there, I'm looking for something, like, or if like, we're hiring, like, you just kind of go to your circle, right?
Right. That makes sense. So how does the how does the interview process work? What are the differences between interviewing somebody locally? You go through this formal, you submit your application, your resume, invite them in for a sit down. Maybe it is a Zoom interview, whatever. Is it the same type of process with a virtual assistant? How do you kind of filter through candidates?
Yeah, great question. Because we all like, let's think of the like the cardinal rule not to break. You get on Facebook in a real estate media group
Mhm.
and you post looking for an editor.
Yeah. We're all laughing right now.
Yeah. So you're like, yeah, that did me no good. That just cost me a lot more work. So editors, I love you, but it's just like, who wants 3,000 DMs?
Right.
It's just like, I can't do anything with it. So I will tell you that having a successful interview process starts with you.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is you really have to define what you need help with. And this is going to be no different than when you hire a photographer, an admin, a head of sales, a head of market, whatever you hire. This is no different than any other employer in the world, that the more complete you can be and clear in the about the company, job title, duties, descriptions, when you can tell people what you want done, it's easier to find those people to do the work for you. Now that I get that's a very non-intelligent quote from me, Craig. Like, yeah, duh, Todd, right? But I will tell you, sometimes I've moved so fast in my businesses that I know what I want them to do in my head. It's clear to me. I just never told them. And I don't think there's any quicker way to set someone up for leaving your company and you having to do this over and over again than not being clear with what you want.
The biggest source of frustration for most people is when expectations aren't met. But if you've never defined those expectations,
Mhm.
you're both going to get frustrated. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you might be saying, like, okay, so Todd, like, I know I want them to QC my images that are coming back from Auto HDR. Okay. I want them to do that, but that's like, an hour a day. When are they going to do? Okay. So you have a couple options. Number one, you could try to hire a part-time person and you could look for 1, 2, 4 hours a day, 2 or 3 times a week. And that is possible. I will tell you though, that what we've seen with not only virtual assistants, but US employees, that fit is, one, more difficult to find, and two, sometimes it doesn't pan out to actually get what you want. So let me explain that. What I mean is
Yeah.
that what we see with virtual assistants is, if you're giving them part-time work, that doesn't mean that they're able to pay their rent, their car payment, their food bill, whatever they need to pay. Much like when we try to hire part-time photographers, they need to go find something else. And I've learned the hard way too many times over the years that a split focus just leads to not a great situation, right, Craig? Like, who wants to do 12 things?
I mean, I can, my own personal experience. Years ago, when, again, going back to when I had my own business, my church wanted to hire me, and he wanted to contract me out for some church work while I was trying to run my business. I'm like, Pastor, I won't serve either one of you, either one of my employers well, because I need to be available for my agents all the time. And if I'm not, that's going to get them frustrated. And then I'm not giving you the time that you need because I have to. Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah. Well,
kind of a
Craig, even in your
universal.
current role, to be transparent, I mean, you're in a hybrid role, and I'm
Yeah.
sure I know we've talked about this. You feel that now between
Yeah.
sales and shooting.
Right. Yeah. So, like you mentioned, we're in busy season. My entire week next week is already booked. I mean, I'm slammed, and I'm doing most of the shooting because I'm the only full-time photographer for us in the market that I'm in. So that doesn't really give me any time to, not meaningful time to meet with clients, to sit down, to brainstorm marketing ideas, to, increase our average order value. I don't have time for that because I'm shooting. And the hybrid role, yeah, truthfully, transparently, that can be frustrating at times. Now I've kind of learned the cycle, and the agents that we work with have kind of gotten used to the cycle. So they know, I'm probably not going to be talking with Craig a whole lot during the summer, but they're busy too. So that, they get it. But yeah, the more you can focus on one thing, the more effective you're going to be at it. And whether it's an in-person employee or a virtual assistant, it's going to be the same worldwide.
Yeah. And to be transparent from a company perspective, we are trying like heck to try to get someone full-time up in Craig's area. And we're kind of striking out. We're beginning to pivot into some new techniques. That's for a whole nother podcast, but we understand the importance of having someone focused as well.
Well, you mentioned pay, and being able to pay somebody for them to pay their bills and whatnot. This might be getting into the weeds a little bit, but maybe you can walk us through, how does paying a virtual assistant work? A traditional employee, you've got payroll, it's going through a payroll company. You kind of set, what the person's going to be making. Pay rates, I think, are probably different across the world, and how you pay those people. Can you kind of navigate a little bit of that for us?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So I'll stick to the Philippines, looking for VAs in the Philippines, as it's probably the most common and ones that we have the most experience with. Now, you can find a VA to work hourly for you at probably $3 an hour.
Hmm,
And yeah,
okay.
that sounds great, right? It's one of the reasons why it's easiest to get a virtual assistant first, because it's not such a big upfront cost. However, I will tell you, if you're looking to find someone at $3 an hour and have them work 3 hours a day, 4 days a week, they're probably doing that for literally 10 other people. Yes, it is cheaper to live in the Philippines, but they still need,
A living wage.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give, if you're all like, how much cheaper? Like, this is one thing that correlated in my head. So, one of our VAs, she runs a department for us. She's fabulous. She's building a house over there. And you can build a house, a 2 or 3 bedroom house. I think it even has a pool, for about 50,000 equivalent US dollars.
Wow.
Yeah. So to give you an idea, now that's building the house. So if y'all are like, hey, it's going to cost me $500,000 to even get something up in the US, that gives you a good idea. But still, with that in mind, it's difficult to live off of $30 a week. It just doesn't equate. So what I recommend, best case scenario, is you have a very clear job description. You understand what they're going to do, and you look to fill them full time. That way they can say yes to just you. They don't have to worry about splitting or making more money. You look for full-time work, and I think a good range, you're going to begin paying people in at least a $900 a month salary.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of ours, we start higher. And I used to think that paying someone $500 a month for full-time work was a good deal. This is a case where just the cheap ends up expensive.
Hmm.
I can't get a hold of them, not responsive, late to do task. I think that's just a split focus. And I don't blame them. I think it was more of a me problem when I tried to save money. But I think it's good to go all in, jump in with 2 feet, commit the money. If your company, at this point right now, paying them $900 or $1,200 a month, and the amount of time that you're going to save, you are actually losing more money than that a month because of the low level tasks that you're doing.
Hmm.
And I say that with love from my heart. I don't, but I want to tell you that, like, when you try to save sometimes in your business, I've done it way too many times, you are actually losing more money than you're saving. Craig, I think back to just a quick story here. I think back to probably 12 years ago at WOW. And this is right when VoIP phones were coming around. And there was a provider out there, Google Voice, right? Who hasn't used Google Voice or has a number for Google Voice? And the nice thing about Google Voice is it is free for, a personal residential number. And I thought, man, this is so great. Like, Todd, you can use your brain. Let's figure out how to hack this system. And so as we expanded in markets, we would get new Google Voice numbers. Free, great. Thank you, Google, for paying my bill, yada, yada, yada. And we probably had 5 numbers. And I realized that there was this little box called an OBI. It was like a 101 or a 201. It was this box that would connect into the internet and then would allow you to connect to a hard phone. And so you could answer a phone that would ring into these free Google Voice numbers. Well, there was a bunch of configuration and we wanted this phone tree and we had this complex thing. And while I was saving money, when the system even worked, it was frustrating. I was frustrating all the employees. When it didn't work, it was a disaster. Nobody could call us. We didn't place orders. They might have gone somewhere else. So not only did I upset the clients, I upset all the employees just to save a monthly phone bill. So please don't be like me. You do have to spend some money sometimes in your business. And I think this is definitely correlates, a direct correlation to spending more money, setting good examples and giving good direction to your employee will yield incredible results for your business.
It's the 2 old adages of you've got to spend money to make money, and you get what you pay for. No other way of putting it, really. So
yeah, as much as my efficiency and cheap brain would like to find another way, Craig, I have to agree with you.
All right, so you've located a source for VAs. You've posted the very complete job description you've created, so that expectations are met as to what the role is. You've interviewed somebody, and you found your candidate. You've determined the pay. You hire them. Next logical step: how in the world do you train a virtual employee, a virtual assistant?
Yeah. So this goes back to being prepared with the job posting, with what they want. Now, Craig, let me give a quick tip here because I'm just remembering it now. If you don't know what you want them to do, what you need to do is you need to keep in mind every time you're doing work, specifically on a computer or maybe on the phone. And if this is work that you could train someone to do, quality controlling your photos, responding to emails, there's a million other things, you should just write down or keep in a note section this task. You do that for a week, you've identified your low-level task. Those are things that your virtual assistant should do. Okay. So now let's jump ahead to the training portion. Before they start, what you need to do is you need to go back to that list that was on the job description. And you need to go shoot a Loom video of you doing that task.
Yeah.
How do you place an order? Okay. Record your screen, log into Spiro, click the universal search for the name, click the place order. Okay. You need to do that. The beautiful thing about 2026 is the fact there's so many, like Loom, and there's a million others. I use Loom all the time. Tango, I use a lot. But all you have to do is the task. And then Loom creates it, AI writes the SOP, and then you just put it in a document and save it online.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I do have, so a couple of things, a couple of pointers for launching on a successful day one, because I've done this wrong too many times. This is with any employee. Okay. This individual is coming to you and is saying yes to your company. Okay. That's a trust to begin with. They are trusting that what you have said is correct. They are excited about your company, and they are confident in the fact that they're going to be able to work for your company and provide for their family. I think sometimes I've underestimated that because I was busy. So their first day, please have their equipment ready or know what equipment they're going to use. A lot of times it's common for them to use their own laptop or device. However, ask them. We've purchased many laptops and devices for our teams overseas. N- Number two, have just company infrastructure set up around them. Make sure their email's set up. Make sure they're invited to Slack. Make sure you have logins. And for logins, just as a side tangent, use a password manager. We use 1Password, LastPass. There's many out there. Like, don't send them the whole Rolodex of logins and passwords on day one. Put it in a password manager and add them in there. But get all of that set up so that they come in and they're like, wow, Todd spent some time getting ready for me.
Makes them feel valued.
Yeah, it does. And it really sets off the relationship great. If you understand that they like coffee or a certain thing, like send them their services over in the Philippines that you can DoorDash them their equivalent, something on their front doorstep day one.
Really?
There is. I forget what it's called.
Huh.
Tyra let me know that. Yeah, Tyra at Spiro. I forget what it's called, but yes, you can DoorDash them food.
What a cool way to make them feel special. Oh, man, this world is amazing sometimes.
It is.
Scary, but amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hmm.
be prepped on day one, Craig. That's the biggest thing. No one wants to walk in and be like, hey, I'm excited about this place, but I don't even really feel like they remembered me.
Yeah. That this isn't necessarily in the outline that we had for the podcast, but kind of along these lines, you know, connecting with an employee and getting to know them. And I think we've talked about love languages in the past, learning how people respond, how they feel appreciated and valued and whatnot. Is it any different virtually? I mean, how do you really get to know somebody when they're halfway across the world, and what can you do to make them feel valued? What you just said, yes, DoorDash them some food, something like that. But is there other ways that you've discovered to make VAs feel a part of your work team or family?
Yeah, this is a great question, Craig. And this honestly applies to everyone on your team. Just your time. Your time could come in that you're doing the trainings with them, sharing screens. You hop on Zoom and you share screens and you go through it. This could be time as in you just send them a quick note. This could be you give them a call. Just anything that shows that you took time out of your day and you thought about them. And that goes for if they're overseas or if they work in your same office. Now, I will say this doesn't come naturally to everyone. And I have phases, Craig, where I remember and I forget. As the owner, I get you get locked in. And it's like sometimes you need that locked in state to just push the business forward. That focus to understand the vision, to get through a project, to get things done. But if you do that too long, your team's like, hey, where'd Todd go? Todd's door can only be closed so many times before they're like, yeah, Todd comes and goes every day and his door's closed every day. And, and then you're thinking I was busy. I had 14 Zoom calls that day and I was doing this thing and that thing. But it doesn't matter to them. All they see is you as unavailable. Okay. So a tip, if this is difficult for you or you're in one of those times, and it's just you on your team. Because as you grow, you can have your team do this. You can facilitate this among the leaders on your team. Just put it on your calendar to reach out to so-and-so once a month. Put it on your calendar. They're not going to know it was scheduled. Don't tell them it was scheduled like you're giving it. I mean, it's not like it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean any less that you had to put it on your calendar to remember to reach out and see how your virtual assistant's doing. And typically you should have meetings weekly, but outside of that, know their anniversary, put on your calendar to just check in with them. Remember that they had a family event or they were going somewhere and just ask them about it.
It's like anything in business. You kind of do that in business development and sales as well. Conversations you have with your clients, a good, for lack of a better word, a good salesperson will make notes in some sort of file, like a CRM or something about conversations you had. And that next time you talk to them, you can go back and look at your notes. Oh yeah, their daughter just graduated from college. Hey, how's the job search? It's those personal things, and it's worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's good, Todd.
So for training, Craig, let me just cover this real quick because, again, I've done this wrong over the years. But when I train anyone, you need to have a few different levels of it. The lowest level is where you are actually doing the work. They are beside you in a Zoom capacity, but you're sharing screens, you're explaining, you're not going as fast as humanly possible. Slow down, explain what you're doing, ask if they have questions, and you complete the task. So they're observing.
Mm-hmm.
Do that for a few days, a week, whatever's appropriate, pending how complex the task is. And then you flip spots. You're both in the same room, but they're controlling the screen now. Okay. So they're clicking through, they're having to remember, and you're just there as a safety net.
Mm-hmm.
And they might get stuck and like, oh, and let them look a little bit. I find as an owner, sometimes like, oh, click there, scroll down, scroll over. Cause I want to move fast,
Right.
but let them look for the button. Excuse me. Let them take the time to figure out what program you need to open, even if it's as clear as day in your mind. Let them think a little bit.
They don't have the muscle memory you do. You've done it thousands of times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So then pick a period of time appropriate for that task, and you're in there with them. And then the third step is where they are doing the task without the safety net of you. Okay. Now there's one important thing here. I'll use a Steveism, that is trust but verify. Okay.
Steve gets credit for that one.
Yeah, I always get. Steve does something. He's like, "Hey, I didn't come up with that." I'm like, "I know, but you always say it, so I'm just giving you credit." Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Greg.
I am too.
And so what that means is have them do the task, know that they're doing the task, and then just check in to make sure that it was done to the level you want. Okay. So if they placed an order, go check the order. Was everything correct? Did they miss anything on the to-do list, that Loom video checklist? If they're reaching out to clients, the beautiful thing is now with using open phone or Zoom phones, whatever you use for a phone system, you can tie into the API or you can log into their system. You can see all the transcripts and you can just spot check some conversations. If you don't have a phone system that gives you transcripts and or records calls, I think you should consider getting it. If you're using Google Voice right now, don't be cheap like me. I'm sorry. Go get open phone. Seems to be the largest. Okay.
Okay.
We don't use it, so I'm just saying from what I've heard. But get something where you can keep a thumb on your business, where you can always go back. Still to this day at WOW, Jess, our head of ops, she will go back and randomly review everyone's phone conversations. Well, the cool thing is right now we just put in some AI where she can actually ask AI to go through the API, review all conversations, and tell me if there's any concerns or any potentials for client fallout. Yeah, pretty cool.
Really?
We'll do a podcast on that coming up, or maybe a demo online of just what we're doing with AI in 2026. But you need to verify that what your employees are doing is what you would want to happen.
A quick aside on that, just as a side note, check your local laws, state laws, things like that on recording phone calls, because there's differences between states, right? Whether you have to notify a client that their call is being recorded.
Yes. Thank you, Craig. Yes. Please check. Some states are a single consent and some are a double. And if it's a double consent state, we're meaning that the party that calls in, like in Ohio, it's a single consent. So they can be recorded. All of our employees know it's recorded. Like this is how we train. It's very clear. Like they're told that. But if the incoming call needs to understand it, most VoIP providers, phone providers have the ability that before they once the pickup happens, a message could be automatically given. Say, hey, just so you're aware, this calls
Being
calls are
recorded
recorded
for
for quality.
training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Okay. I know that was kind of an aside, but it just popped into my head. So,
yeah. Always good to think about legalities. Thank you for that.
yeah. All right. So training, you got the training wheels off. They're starting to run on their own. Expectations have been defined to the role. Now, how do you hold a VA accountable to the expectations of the role?
Yeah. So great question. So a lot of that is that trust but verify, and you are verifying that they're doing what you want them to do. Now, there's a trap you can fall into because now I know what you're saying in your head as you're driving around. It's busy season and you have to potty right now. You're saying, Todd, you mean I have to check all of their work?
Hmm.
That's where I felt like that's like, oh, wait a minute. Like, holy crap. Like they're doing 25 tasks a day. And now when I'm back home with my laptop open, I have to go click through all of that stuff. No, thank you. I'll do it myself.
I thought this was going to save me time. I see the thought process.
Exactly. Okay, so a couple of things here. So AI can't help with this, but let's not go down that route. What your goal should be as the owner of your company is you should never give yourself more work to do.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. What do you mean?
Yep.
What do you mean, Todd? Okay. So what I mean by that is if you want to understand how many orders they've placed and if they've done things the correct way, what you need to tell your VA is, hey, at the end of every day, I want you just to do an end of day report for me. While you're going throughout your day, just keep track of how many orders you've placed, just from a tally mark. And if you had a concern about that order, maybe we didn't have enough availability or the pricing, you didn't know about the pricing, I want you to note it down. And I want you to email that to me at the end of every day. This is the way I want you to email it to me. Give them an example. Hey, number of orders placed. These are the concerns. Give me the link to that order so I can quickly click it. But you all see what I'm doing here. Like I'm putting all of my verification on them.
Yep.
Simply, I want to look at it every morning. I want my eyes to scan it. And you all are incredibly quick at this because you understand your business at a level no one else does. So you'll get this report, you'll see it, you'll immediately understand if you need to devote more time. And what I mean by devoting more time is saying, hey, you need to have a quick conversation with them saying, hey, on that order on 123 Main Street, the drone was actually a little bit different because it was an add-on. It's actually at $99, not the regular $149, for example. And then have them fix that and say, hey, let's go back and let's fix the SOP so that you're clear on this. Or create an SOP. Okay, standard operating procedure. It's a cheat sheet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically what you're going to have them do is you're going to go have them find where you have in your guidebook about pricing. Or if you don't have a guidebook, have them start a new one, share a doc with them, and they're going to type when drone is an add-on, it's $99. Here's what it was, what it isn't. Here's the exceptions, so on and so forth. So what you've done in one slew with just one quick swipe is number one, you've put the work on them to send you at a very high level this daily briefing. And Craig, maybe it's hourly, maybe it's if this thing happens, I want to know immediately. You pick the interval, but you are putting the work on them to send you kind of this is like a test, like turn in your test so I can check it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then what you want to, and then what you're doing with this is you are not fixing a problem because how are they going to know what they need to do different next time? You're having them fix the problem.
Okay.
Now, if it's red flag urgent, you go fix it. And then you make sure you have a conversation. Record yourself in Loom fixing it. I do this many times. Like if I want something changed right now, they might be offline and like this affects a client. I want to change it, but I record myself. I say, hey team, this is what I'm doing. This is what you need to do. Click here. This is what I'm modifying. Then you confirm back with them that they understand that. And then finally, the third step is let's fix the knowledge gap of why they didn't do this the first time in whatever training we have.
All makes sense. Okay. All right. we've gone through pretty much the entire process now. And thinking from the VA's standpoint, they want to feel valued, part of the team, that they're actually adding value. What to kind of capstone all of this? What would be the best way to have them help you grow the company, or have them be a part of helping grow the company?
Yeah.
Because if they just see themselves as handling, say, low level tasks, they might burn out eventually. They might not feel totally connected. Is there a way to help them feel like they're contributing to the growth of the business?
This is my favorite thing about running a business, quite honestly.
Okay.
So there's this mindset shift that you'll need to go through, and it's you changing in the fact of the way that you see your team. Okay. So as you hire people on, you see them as just robots running and doing items. And that does free up more time.
Hmm.
You don't have to do those items anymore. They become good at those items. But like Craig kind of said in the question, like there's a burnout. Like humans aren't robots.
Hmm.
And humans have the ability to think, understand, interpret, and they have this desire to help.
Hmm.
The culture in the Philippines is the most fabulous culture, as they are just the most happy, just lighthearted, want to help type of mentality. It's really
Hmm.
incredible. Like it's a breath of fresh air.
Really?
Yeah. And they want you to be happy with them. And I think about this, most humans, like most people that show up to work every day want to succeed. Not like I know a few bad apples spoil the bunch. It's
Hmm.
not people don't walk into your business every day and think, I'm gonna try to sabotage Todd. They, they don't. And as much as maybe my pessimistic brain wants to go there when they do something that I see as like, why did they do that? I always go back and I say, hey, blame the system, blame the process, not the person. That is a mindset shift that you have to take. And when you stop just thinking of your VAs as robots, but you think of them as the answers to your problems or your gaps at your business, that's when it all changes. So quickly here, Craig, I will give just a quick story, and many of you have heard it, but it's about a very tough year of mine. It was the end of 2022, and it's when we lost a huge broker account, and in one text message, I lost $250,000.
Hmm.
Pit in my stomach, like despair, dark thoughts, like this isn't going to work. Why am I doing this? Like we might have to sell our house. It was the toughest time by far ever from a business and personal perspective in my life. And I had this moment where I went, I really don't know what to do.
Hmm.
And that was new for me because every other time, and I've screwed things up, but I was like, yeah, no problem. We'll just do this other thing. I literally was like back against the wall. Like, I'm going to have to move my family out of the house my kids were born in. And I don't know if anybody's going to have a job. And I pulled the leaders of WOW into this middle room over here in the office. And I just said, guys, we lost the account. I don't know what to do.
That had to be humbling for you as owner, Todd. That had to be hard.
It was because I was coming from this spot of like this culmination of me thinking like I'm the smartest person in the world. Ego, Craig, like serious ego.
Yeah.
Like I have all the answers. I can do it all. Yada, me, Todd. But I was just so rock bottom that I lost confidence. I was like, guys, I'm throwing in the white towel. I'm going to rent a U-Haul to move the family. And it was in that moment that Steve went, hey, I don't think this is that bad, really. Like, we can sell to anybody now. And others are like, hey, I'll rearrange the schedule so that we keep everybody on staff in that city. And, then another one spoke up and said, hey, let me look at the budget. I think we probably got a lot we can cut out. We can get lean here. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like,
not what you were expecting.
yeah. Like I hand them this disaster and they find solutions. That's when the light bulb went off. When I finally let go and I started asking, okay, how would you do that? Okay, how are we going to do that in the city? Okay, what brokerages are we going to do? What do you need from me? How can I help with that? Do you think we should cut this or that? What do you think's your best opinion? And they gave me really good answers. And it was in those years that I realized they could do it way better than me. Like way better. Like the amount, like we overcame the 2023 year. 2024 was our best year ever by a huge amount. 2025 was even better than that year by a large amount. I went, wait a minute, Todd, you've been holding the reins way too tight because these people are better than you. So I think when you realize, and I say this, like, this is painful. Like if you're not listening, like I got tears in my eyes right now because this is still painful. And if this is painful for you, like if you're in a tough season, I'm sorry, like doing hard is real. But what you have to think about and what you have to conclude is you have to let go and you have to trust your people and you have to just ask them questions. So this is a very long answer to your question, Craig. But when you onboard your team and you go through the training, you're eventually going to get to a point that they're probably doing what you've asked them to do better than you. And what you need to do is you need to ask them and say, hey, how do you think we could do this process better? How do you think we could get more clients? What do you think our largest gaps are? Where do you see that we have the most fallout with clients, the least amount of availability, the most unhappy photographers? The list goes on and on. And when you start asking those questions, I think you'll be so surprised with the answers that you get back that you'll go, holy crap, these are the correct answers. Like this is like an unlock and a bonus that I never thought was possible.
And as they help provide those answers and ideas and they're successful, that's another opportunity for you to invest back in them and show them appreciation. And that cycle just continues where they've bought into your company and your business and they feel a loyalty and you feel a loyalty to them. It's a great synergy.
It is. And that, Craig, is the best thing that I've found and concluded with owning businesses. Just a huge shout out to Steve and Jess, my leaders at WOW. They both came in. Jess for many years, and she's great at it, but she quality checked photos. She runs operations.
Mm-hmm.
Steve came in as a marketing assistant individual. He runs sales and marketing at WOW. And they're doing it way better than me because they're growing way faster than when I ever did it. So,
and they lead well. As both of them being my supervisors, I can say I love working for both of them. They've taken the values of WOW Video Tours and run with them and kind of replicated you in their role towards the rest of us. And that's why we have the employee buy-in and the contractor buy-in that we do.
mm-hmm.
It's because we have great leaders that you've invested in and replicated yourself. So it works, folks. It works.
It does. It does. And if you're at the point you're like, hey, wait a minute, Todd, Craig, I just wanted to know where to go post a job. Like this seems a bit overwhelming. Please. This is year 23 for me. It took me a lot of years of doing it the wrong way and not doing things. The first step is just get together a good job post online. I'm sure you can find other job posts. There's a lot of strategies. Colleen Kidd has I think she might have a workshop or something that she does of how they find virtual assistants, where to put like a special word that they have to mention or shoot a video so that you can hear that. Like
I remember that.
Yeah.
She talked about that in an earlier episode that we did with her. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So if that's step one, please don't try to take a leap to 20 right now. A lot of years to get there. But that just kind of lays the path of where you want to end up. And more or less me trying to convince you that, yes, letting go and spending some money on help right now will allow you to get to places you never thought was possible.
It'll superpower your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Todd, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for listening. I do have one last little tip here, Craig, and just if you're looking for an easy button and you're like, hey, I haven't hired before, post, I don't know any of this stuff. Eli Jones, the rep team, has rep talent. And if you just want it done for you, go over and talk to them. They have the ability where they will post it. They've hired a ton of virtual assistants, photographers. They know what to look for. They know where to post. If you just want the easy button because you're like, hey, it's May and I'm busy and I just don't even know where to start. Like sometimes just having some help for it will allow you to get to further than you ever thought. So check them out. It's called Rep Talent if you just want a done for you solution.
Awesome. Todd, thank you. The 35,000 square foot.
Is that on your schedule today, Craig? Are you shooting that?
I do have a big one coming up, but it's not today. You could tell I'm a real estate photographer. 35,000 foot, but I had it square. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that was great, Craig.
I don't believe I just did that
there, but that was a great ending.
The 35,000 sounds like I'm going through
foot
puberty
view
as well. Foot view, when you maybe wanted the 10-foot view, and yeah. Anyway, we hope that was helpful. We hope you're getting a good laugh. I think that's my role in this podcast is give people laughs at my expense, and I think I'm okay with it. Anyway,
thank you for embracing that, Craig. I love that.
You know, somebody's got to take one for the team there. You guys have a great rest of your week. We hope that was a good ending to the podcast that brought a smile to your face. It's grind time, and I think I needed this as much as anybody, Todd. Business can be overwhelming at times, but hopefully we've brought some levity and some value to your business. Again, if you have questions, things you're trying to sort through on the business side of what you do, email us, hello@spiro.media. Feel free to leave a comment on the YouTube channel. The better way is probably the email. We might get to it faster. I'm not checking YouTube as much as I was during slow season because I'm out there shooting, but we want to be of benefit to you. So thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch, to listen, and make sure you just take some time to be thankful for the blessings in your life. And as Spiro indicates by the word, it's Latin, correct? Spiro's Latin?
Yes.
It means breathe. Take a moment to breathe. You have a great week.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and WOW Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.